Greetings from Switzerland, my hostages. So when it came to this wonderful mountain country, which we're near the mountains, they're over there. Anyway, when it came to this wonderful mountain country of Switzerland, there was either Arnim Zola or the Flag Smasher. Now, I apologize, that was not meant to offend anybody. This was a symbolic gesture because the Flag Smasher. This flag is actually a gift for my son. So what do I even know about Flag Smasher? I know he's got a mace. Sometimes I think he has a mace on his hand, but he doesn't. He holds a mace. He's got a really cool costume that I like to look up. He runs a group called Ultimatum. He doesn't like borders. Pretty sure he's played by Memphis Nest in the MCU. Let's dive into the comics and see what he's all about. Created for Captain America issue number 312 by Mark Grunwald and Paul Neary, the Flag Smasher debuts strong by attacking the UN. Probably because of all their flags. Oh, he actually was there after the flags. The next night he attacks the Acme Flag Company. I think I'm going to have a hard time taking this guy seriously. Anyway, since he takes smashing flags so literally, and Captain America wears a flag, his next target seems obvious. But why does he smash flags? Well, Karli Morgenthau was the son of a Swiss ambassador, and he moved frequently from country to country, never quite able to fit in, always feeling the prejudice of the other kids. So he learned karate for self-defense. Eventually his father was accidentally killed at a demonstration outside of a Latvian embassy, and Karl inherited his father's fortune and set about his father's dream of world peace. He just figured the best way to bring that about was to destroy patriotism and break down the borders of all the countries. When he does attack, he gets an upper hand on Captain America simply because of the proximity to the public, and he gets his chance to speak freely. He doesn't hate America, but he hates the concept of countries. Either way, that's enough for the crowd to turn on him, chanting that America is great and calling Flag Smasher a communist. That's enough to distract him, and Captain America makes quick work of him, like he was no threat at all. See, and that I personally actually found very funny, because when he was attacking nobody, when he was attacking flags, he was like, another victory for Flag Smasher. He kept claiming victory over flags as if they were something to be proud of, because they can't fight back, but then Captain America just destroys them like that. I think it's funny. So that was his first appearance. Pretty simple. I like his design. I think his costume's got a great concept. There's just something about it. It's like bold yet plain. I don't know. I just quite like it. And I think from there, like realistically, I could have seen him just being a character that never appeared again, almost a one-off semi-joke of a character. I also feel he could be built into one of those villains that people agree with. Like, he makes a lot of good points. It's just not quite the way this character ended up going. But he did return again in Captain America number 321, and this time he's got Ultimatum with him. That's the underground, liberated, totally integrated mobile army to unite mankind, and they hijack a plane. Flag Smasher demands a rematch against Captain America because he feels Cap got lucky the last time they fought.
Right.
So Cap infiltrates the base and gets his own Ultimatum uniform. I'll say it now so I don't forget it, but I think these are just, of all the goons, a Hydra, AIM, Hellfire Club, of all of them, Ultimatum has the best design, best costume. I love it. Speaking of saying things before I forget, you guys should subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and then hit the like button. Thank you. Anyway, before Captain America can free the hostages, one last guard opens fire on them and shoots. Reacting faster than he can think, Captain America shoots the guard dead. From there, Captain America tears through the base to find the man responsible, Flag Smasher. And when he does, they fight and they crash a helicopter and they fight on the side of a mountain until Flag Smasher leaps and accidentally throws himself into a chasm. Captain America climbs down and gets him. He builds them a shelter and he snuggles him to stay warm. He saves his life, probably just so he can give him a speech as he drags him back to safety. And it's a really good Captain America speech too, but all it does is make Flag Smasher hate him even more. In fact, when two Ultimatum guys show up to rescue them, this piece of work has them attack Cap. Though once they're defeated, Flag Smasher does surrender in the name of self-preservation. His next appearance in Captain America number 348 begins with Flag Smasher on the run from his own men. And for the sake of streamlining this, I'm just putting consecutive issues just together in one. It's what I do now. So why is Flag Smasher on the run, you ask? Well, he's discovered that the true financial backer of Ultimatum is actually the Red Skull, so he calls out to Captain America for help. And when Captain America comes to answer the call, it's none other than John Walker, because he was Captain America at the time. Flag Smasher picks up on that pretty quickly, and he feels the government doesn't take him seriously enough to send the real Cap. They fight, and for the first time, Flag Smasher actually gets a win over Captain America. Though it should be worth noting that he's also wearing an energy-sapping exosuit. Either way, he demands that the real Captain America show up, and he's going to torture Walker until he arrives. So Battlestar goes off to find the Captain, and they return just in time for an entire Ultimatum squadron to attack Flag Smasher. So he and the Captain team up to stop their Doomsday device from falling into the hands of the Red Skull. And even now, Flag Smasher gets pissed off at how good Captain America is on the sky skis, knowing it's his first time using them. But they do destroy the device and Flag Smasher gets away. Now at this point, Flag Smasher's actually going to take a break from battling Captain America and go fight Moon Knight in a couple of issues of Mark Spector Moon Knight. In New York, Moon Knight tails some Ultimatum agents right into a sting by the Punisher. So the two of them team up to take on the terrorists, and it appears that Flag Smasher is back in charge. He also has a short-lived sidekick in Anarchy. And honestly, Flag Smasher really comes off a little more crazy here. Like, I don't see a way anyone can sympathize with him or his ideals in these issues. He's been lowered to a gun-toting maniac who still really can't fight, and he presumably dies in a boat explosion. Except he's back less than a year later in Ghost Rider, who teams up with the Punisher to face our flag-smashing friend. And now the Flag Smasher appears as more of a showman, more of a crazy cult leader than ever before. He's rallying troops and recruiting more troops into his anti-country ways. Though he does say that he learned from Captain America not to let his ego get in the way. And now he just twirls his metaphorical mustache and makes his getaway. Though eventually Ghost Rider does get his hands on him and gives him the penance stare, which seems to take him out. Though the Punisher argues that it won't actually change him, the Rider refuses to let Castle put a bullet in Flag Smasher's head. Will he change his ways? No one can say for sure, but I'm thinking no. Because when we next see him in Captain America number 400, he's up in that old Ultimatum base, up north up to his old tricks. And when D-Man wanders mindlessly into the base, Flag Smasher again demands that Captain America come get him. Of course, Captain America's up in space at the time, so Captain America's of the past and future, US Agent and Falcon, they go in there and they beat him up. In Captain America number 438, right in the heart of the 90s, someone asks Flag Smasher if he's supposed to be Space Ghost. And I will honestly admit that I didn't really see it until just then, and makes perfect sense. He looks like Space Ghost, just yellow, not there. I'm not even sure if I could take him seriously anymore. Not because of the Space Ghost thing, but because he's just a stereotypical maniacal cult leader of a villain now. He's launching an operation called Do or Die. Cap takes him out with ease, but Flag Smasher detonated a self-destruct device in his belt. Now that should kill him.
He's not gone! That's the whole point! He's never gone!
In Marvel Team-Up number 3, the world is about to be introduced to the Euro, and Flag Smasher actually thinks that has something to do with him and all the work he's been doing. He thinks the Euro being introduced is a culmination of all his years of hard work. And one of his Ultimatum agents says, "You're an idiot," and he gets thrown out of their spaceship for it. Anyway, Silver Sable deploys both Spider-Man and Sandman to stop Ultimatum in England. But when they get there, they see that some of the agents have once again turned on Flag Smasher. So Flag Smasher teams up with the heroes to stop the rogue Ultimatum agents. But while they are fighting, he also plants a bomb in Buckingham Palace and runs away. Spidey and Sandman save the day and get to have a tea party with the Queen. So that issue was a mess, but it does further to prove that Flag Smasher is just an unhinged, raving lunatic. He's much more calm for his brief appearance in X-Man number 35. His agents are all in new costumes that I also actually quite like. They attack quite a few places and mix it up with X-Man. Several of them do explode without realizing they even had bombs on them in the first place, because Flag Smasher doesn't bat an eye at sacrificing his own men. When we finally see him, he is working with the Purple Man, who is actually disgusted by his behavior and commands him out of a moving car to his death. Though he is alive and well for X-Men Unlimited number 22, and his dudes are back in their proper duds. The bad guys plant a bomb and the X-Men deal with the grunts while Shadowcat and Marrow tackle Flag Smasher, who has his mace back. I didn't even notice it was missing. Sorry. Let me catch my breath. Okay. Do you remember before when Flag Smasher was all, "I'm not racist, I just think nations don't need borders"? Yeah, it turns out he really doesn't like mutants. Yeah, mutant kind isn't welcome in his new United Globe, so... I keep trying to like this guy, but honestly, I can't. It's only gonna be a few more issues till he's murdered, so let's keep trucking on. Flag Smasher is back in Captain America Annual 99, and boy, what a redesign. I hate it. So after that whole issue blowing up the English Channel, I guess Flag Smasher fell into the icy water and Roxxon pulled him out. Now, I can understand glossing over the X-Men issues, but really, like, he didn't go down with the English Channel. He teamed up with Spider-Man and Sandman and, had tea with Tony Blair and the Queen. So Joe Casey, while writing this Captain America issue, like, not only did he not reference the right issues and stuff like that, like, he didn't even finish them. He read half an issue and decided, yeah, that's good enough. And that just... I'm on vacation, I don't want to be stressful, but I gotta put Joe Casey in the Haussmann Comics Circle of Shame for 2.5 minutes. Shame. It's just sloppy. Anyway, he's got severe brain damage. That's Flag Smasher, not Joe Casey. And Roxxon is giving him a drug that makes him a mindless murderer and changes his skin tone. Presumably that makes him stronger, and somewhere he got a second mace. Roxxon is basically using him like their own Winter Soldier because they too would like a world without political borders. Because they want corporations to run it all. Corporations like Roxxon. Anyway, Captain America beats him with an awesome move. He does a triple bounce with his shield, and while it's bouncing, he takes Smasher's maces away so he can't deflect the shield. Credit where credit was due, because that was awesome. Also in that issue, Flag Smasher attacked the Daily Bugle, and that's where Cap intercepted him. And I just want to point out that this actually happens in a lot of other comics. Like, people do attack the Daily Bugle, and Peter Parker's not always there, so Spider-Man doesn't intervene. Like Captain America, Ms. Marvel, various other heroes have intervened in Crisis at the Daily Bugle, so that's just something really neat, I think, that goes a long way to helping protect Peter Parker's identity. While people are like, oh, Spider-Man and Peter Parker, always the Daily Bugle. Daily Bugle gets attacked like every other day. Next up is a mini-series, Citizen V and the V Battalion. It's written by Fabian Nicieza and Luis La Rosa, with special shout-out to Mike Deodato Jr. on these beautiful covers. And speaking of beautiful, just get a look at the view here. In this series, Flag Smasher seems to have regained his mind, freedom, and coloring from Roxxon and is once again in charge of Ultimatum, now larger than ever. He's also got a new look, and I'm okay with this one, but now he is inciting a civil war in the European country of Risistan, which is not a real place in our world. Flag Smasher himself does not show up a lot, but by the end he's placed as ruler of that nation. Which is actually a great move for the character, but really, you think about it, somebody who doesn't want borders at all, to all of a sudden give him a nation, is kind of ironic, I guess, but he thinks that ruling that nation will be a great stepping off point for his global unification, but it's just ironic that now he's got a nation with borders. It's kind of funny. It's a little too ironic. I really do think.
Is that foreshadowing?
No, it's a reference to a music song. Also, with his maskless look, his hair's been changed to a different color. It's a nitpick, I know, and it could be due to his gray Roxxon phase. Anyway, if you figured an unhinged madman would be a terrible ruler of a nation, you would be correct. Because he's assassinated by Domino, and Cable takes over as the new ruler of Risistan. So before I wrap up, I want to touch on there was a few other people that stepped up and took the title of Flag Smasher, so I'm just going to touch on them briefly. The first was a Canadian... Hold on a sec. So yeah, a random Canadian Ultimatum agent named Guy Theroux took up the role next, and he was probably more unsuccessful than the original because Agent Venom bit his arm off, and then another Ultimatum agent named Carl shot him in the head and took his place. And we're back. But that third guy that took on the name Flag Smasher gets killed by Deadpool, and Deadpool wipes out the rest of Ultimatum, so they should be gone. Though they do show up a couple times later without a leader. Another Flag Smasher showed up in a more modern costume, but that was an LMD used by Hydra Captain America, who went by Grant Rogers and became Captain Krakoa, but later he got outed and then became the most recent Flag Smasher. And as I mentioned, there was a female version named Karli Morgenthau who ran a group called the Flag Smashers in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And actually I thought they worked really well there, like all people post-snap not having nations. Anyway, thank you very much for coming on this journey with me, but I appreciate all of you guys for sticking with the journey. Like and subscribe, and I'm gonna hop on a plane and head home. It's been a good vacation, but I want you guys to stay Haussy. There's rocks over there, so I'm not going to jump in front of the camera, just stay Haussy. I know the microphone's with me. Stay Haussy, folks.
Hold on. I thought you were gonna run up.
Shame! I forgot what I was gonna do.
There you go. I always smash flags.
Yeah.
No, it's like...
He did distract him, and Captain America makes quick work, reacting faster than he can think. Captain America shoots the guard dead. Oh. Yeah. And actually, that's when D-Man wanders in mindlessly, and Smagmeasure... Shut up, duck. Hope you guys understand how, embarrassing this is to be surrounded by people and tourists. I'm sitting here talking about Flag Smasher. It's ridiculous.